How's everybody doing? Good?
Good.
Can we close the laptops? Seriously, I know, because then you have to focus and I'll make it more interesting for you guys. It's okay. Close it, you guys can tweet. If you really want to tweet, you can open it up. But yeah, otherwise close. Because then otherwise people like talking and pay attention. One thing that happens a lot, I'm really curious why you guys are taking this class. That's one thing I was thinking about today before I came. Like, why are you guys here?
Launch a company.
Launch a company?
Yeah.
Networking? Networking? It's okay. There's no wrong answers, bad answers, some good answers. I mean, there's the dumb one. You know the dumb answers some people. Anything over here? I know, Richard, you were talking, so that's why you're here. And you were talking. Tacos. Yeah. Tacos. Yeah, pretty much. What about the guys in the back? Why are you guys here? What's that? Why do you guys want to launch companies? It's really depressing. I don't know if you guys realize how much my day sucks. Right? Actually, they call me angry. They're like, one of the guys that always called me angry yesterday. No, so I'm really curious about this. Like, is it, what is it about launching a company?
It's not a 9 to 5.
What's that?
It's not a 9 to 5.
Okay. It's a 9 to 9.
That's fine. That's better.
It's actually a lot worse than 9 to 5. No, I worked at Intel, so my first job out of college was horrible. And I think you guys should all go experience that, right? Because then you know why you don't want to work at a 9 to 5. What about you guys over on the side? What about you, man? The long hair. Yeah, why are you here? Make games. That's great. Why do you want to make games? Good. That's great. What about you guys?
Access to resources and valuable information.
And so, I mean, obviously, I think a lot of what you guys do is to build a company, right? Start a company. Why do you guys want to do that? I really think this is fascinating. I hope you guys understand and you'll learn something. Yeah, please.
We think the idea behind the company is good, and we really like the people on the team.
Okay.
Hopefully, you really like the people on the team.
Okay. Any other interesting answers? Yes, Mr. Metcalf.
My goal is freedom and prosperity. Starting companies, I can't wait to get this.
Freedom and prosperity. Oh, can't go wrong. How many people here have heard of AppSumo before? Have you really? Awesome. That's really, who hasn't? I kind of just told you. You ruined everything. I'll just leave. Hold on, you guys haven't heard about it in the back? No? Okay, open the laptop up. No. AppSumo.com. You should check it out. So, what I want to share with you guys today, and you feel free to interrupt me. I think that whatever is the most valuable for you, stop, ask questions. What I'm going to show you today is kind of the story of how we, me sitting in the chair where you guys are sitting to where we've gone today. So, that's me on an airplane, and just some of the things I think Josh mentioned, Facebook Mint. And then I started 2 companies that are now doing millions of dollars. So it's kind of cool. But what I want to show you is just how we really get it. Right? And I think there's a lot of sexiness and everybody's like, oh, it just works. I think what's missed a lot of times when you guys are building your companies is how limited your time is, and especially your money. And I think that's, frankly, the only thing you really have in life that's non-renewable is your time. Right? Like today, you're giving it to me. I am taking your time. And I am enjoying it. But hopefully you're going to get some value out of sharing your time with me. You will. I know you will. And so as we're going, what I want to show you is just how we literally built AppSumo from nothing. So this year, I think we have 700,000 customers, $2 million. So we've done a pretty okay job in the past year and a half. And so we kind of started off with a landing page. Now this is pretty standard. I think a lot of people use LaunchRock. And I'll go through this stuff and we'll open up to questions when you guys have your own businesses. And so originally it was just like, let's put up a landing page, and the premise, and what you're trying to do in a business, all businesses is hypotheses. So you guys in the back are like, chicks, they like clothing, we're going to do something with that, I don't know. And then you make a hypothesis that women want to know what colors, they need help with colors. And then so a business is testing that hypothesis and validating people want to give you money for that.
Maybe in particular a startup business.
Yeah.
Versus like a barbershop.
It could even be a barbershop, things like that. You could literally validate and figure out your business without coding. Like I can code. Hurt my feelings, Josh. Who here is a coder? Okay, who here is not smart? Raise your hand up. The other people. Okay, good. Single people? No, I always do that one. It's the single people. You look around and see who else is single. So, really, I would say like 99% of businesses could be validated within about 30 days or 7 days, and it really shouldn't cost you any money. And so, just a quick example. I posted on the Austin Startup Group on Facebook, like, does anyone need a maid? And I had like 4 people like, yeah, who's your maid? Recommend her. Right? I can actually start creating a maid service. right? And so it was because I saw that people actually wanted a service that they'll pay money for. Didn't take coding, didn't take weeks, didn't take doing other stuff. Like you guys would literally stop what you're doing and then go home tonight and do something. So we put up a landing page, and my friend was like, "Why are you putting up a landing page? Let's just get it started." And so we built AppSumo. It's now a multi-million-dollar company. We built it for $50. So this is the email that built it. And I actually would have even done it easier today. So what I did is I contacted a developer in Pakistan. His name is Mohammed. You can actually, is his email there? Feel free to email him. It's $12 an hour. Use him. I swear, email him. He's great. He's very reliable, dependable. They have a whole team there. And so the premise about AppSumo and our hypothesis was, one, web apps are gigantic, right? Dropbox is a billion-dollar company. There's going to be a lot more companies like that. And then how do you distribute those types of products? Am I moving too much? Should I do the left side?
You're good.
Right side? Okay. Is this for your private collection?
That'll be after class.
I'll take my shirt off. So anyways, long story short, basically I saw the trend of web apps are getting bigger. There's really not a great place to find them besides Google or maybe some blog posts. And secondly, like Mac Heist and Groupon, there's something with bundling or time sensitivity that we could take advantage of in terms of that as a distribution method. And so I was like, all right, well, let me try to see if I can sell web apps. And so now I wouldn't have done any of this stuff. And so if you're trying to sell web apps, do you guys want to try to guess how would you validate it within a day? I could have actually done it within a day. And I'm kind of bothered that it took me 30 days. All right, I'll cheat. I'll tell you what you could do.
Go out and ask people.
What's that?
Go out and ask people.
You can go and ask people, but people don't know what they want a lot of the time.
Set up a fake splash page, see if they sign up.
The splash page is a good start. I'm not as much a fan of splash pages anymore, the collect email and stuff. Yeah. Craigslist. Start. That's a great start. So what you could do, let's say, I don't even need to build it anymore. What you could do if you wanted to validate AppSumo today, if you guys want to compete, go compete, is go find one product, doesn't matter what. Go find anything. And then find a customer base that already wants that product. So as an example, I'll just make up something right now. If you do message boards, anybody here like an enthusiast? Say you're a car enthusiast. Go to the car enthusiast message boards, see what they're all talking about, and then just sell them something that they're already talking about. And so what we did with AppSumo, instead of building out anything, what you could have done, is we went to reddit.com, which, is anybody here a Redditor? You know, distractions at work. It's like, don't go. If you're not a Redditor, don't start. It's like this time sink. You have like no idea what happened. You're like sweaty, you're loud, there's all these memes. Long story short, what I would have done in retrospect, I would have gone to Reddit. It's a very popular community. They have programming, technology, so forth. And then I would have just seen a product they wanted, which was Imgur. It's photo hosting. I think most of you guys, if you're a Redditor, will know that. And I would have just put it like on a WordPress site. I would have just put it on WordPress, or I wouldn't even done that. I would have just made a Reddit ad that says like, give me your email, or PayPal me this money, and I'll send you Imgur Pro for whatever. So let me clarify. Imgur Pro sells for 24 bucks. I would have gone to Imgur and I said, hey, I'll pay you $7 for everyone I sell for you. It's free money. It's digital. It doesn't cost anything. It's zeros and ones. And so I would have put an ad on Reddit. This is what I would have done tonight if I didn't actually build something. I would just put an ad. PayPal me $7, and I'll send you Imgur Pro for a year. Normally costs $25. That's tonight. I can still actually go do this tonight. That's how you validate. It doesn't really cost me much money. Didn't really take a lot of time. And if it works, I can extend it. If it doesn't work, I can move on or try to figure out what I'm trying to learn from this. I didn't do it that way, but that's something I would encourage you guys to. Yeah.
So I had a question about, so like having people pay you $7 on PayPal, was there a risk that you wouldn't have validated because it just seemed too sketchy? And so it wasn't that the idea was bad, that if it's so low-fi of a prototype that like people won't, like where do you draw that line?
That's fair. I mean, so there's certain things where I think, I used to work on businesses that make money, and now I work on businesses that create value, and then subsequently make money. So I think when you do that, you stick with something longer. And so I really love helping distribute software. I love, and you know, AppSumo, I actually don't even see it as that now. It's just helping professionals succeed. And so I would probably keep working on it. So if it didn't work, then I might say, all right, maybe it's not this thing, but it needs to be on a website. An example of that is a friend of mine wanted to do an eBay for food. And so the idea there was that, you know, if you're a single professional, after work you want a good meal. And so, you know, why don't you create a marketplace where people who are cooking food, you could just buy the meals from them. So I have an extra dish, and I can say, I have this extra dish on this website, and you can go there and actually bid and get that, not bid, but you can just buy that food. And so a lot of people, engineers, always go to technical stuff. Oh, how do I build that? Because they're scared of actually making money. It's scary. It's so much easier just to sit behind the computer and do all this stuff that's like pretend business. To play business is what we call it. It's much more fun with business cards and the shirts and all that kind of non-real business stuff. So what we did, kind of going back to your question, was you don't have to build a website. What we did is we actually emailed 20 of his friends, including me, that were in the target market. He said, PayPal $20 if you want us to bring you dinner one night, right? And they're friends, so it's a little bit different. And then the second time, and then what we did is we went to Craigslist and we posted, hey, we need a caterer. 13 people actually paid the $20 to deliver a meal on this night. That validated that actually a few people wanted. And if you could have repeated that a few more times, then you create a system or a website to do it. So I got them common, paid them $50. I actually built the front end just searching Google for front end and PHP code. I didn't try to make it all fancy. And then I emailed Imgur, this is the actual email. I just said, hey, can I sell your product for you? And I'll give you $7 for everyone I sell. It's not complicated. Don't make it complicated. Right? Think about like really challenging them. I think it's Parkinson's law, where the limitation of factors like creates better things. So challenge yourself. I need to validate it this weekend. I need to do it tonight, right after this class. Go home and try to validate your idea. So I just emailed that one. Of course, like there's certain businesses. Here's the problem I've noticed in a lot of businesses as you guys are doing. You create really shit businesses. And so what a shit business, I don't know if it's a shit business, but it's low on the totem pole. So my last business was a shit business. We made a lot of fucking money, but it was total shit. And what that means is that on a totem pole, we were doing credit card processing for games. So we powered Zynga and Playdom and Guy and all these guys. And how many companies wake up saying like, oh, I really wish I had a great credit card processor? Right? That's shit. Right? No one wants you. But so I decided I want to be higher on the totem pole. And so higher on the totem pole, what is something that every single person in this room wants? If you have a business, what do you need and want?
Customers.
Where do you think that is on the totem pole?
Hi.
That's really high. That's really high. And so as you're doing your business, make sure you're doing something that is critical for the others to give you money. Right? I'm a little more in the B2B world because I like money. That's why I like real businesses. But like in the games, like find a certain customer and work backwards. What is it exactly they want that they're like, I have to have this, or I have to play this game. So I emailed Alan, and then let me just share a thing. I hate the word networking. I actually got called a networker. I used to be really actively networking. It has the word work in it, that sucks. I don't want to do work and netting. So anyways, the short of it is, I want you guys to think about building relationships. How many people here are still in school? Is everybody here in student? Okay. You guys have it awesome. Just your .edu email address gets you in everywhere. It's like the sympathy email. It's just like, oh, I'm a student, I have a .edu. I'm like, fuck, I have to respond to this guy. That's how we all, Mr. Metcalf, Josh, it's like, oh, but then if it's like some greedy capitalist other person, oh, I need this. I don't want to respond to that person. So take advantage of it. And what I mean by that is, in terms of relationships instead of networking, is work backwards locally and maybe more globally with people that can possibly help you and you help them with your business. And don't go for the brand names. Don't email me. Email's one actually who's going to give a shit about you. And in terms of relationship, I want to share a story with AppSumo, how this started. I found a guy that worked at Reddit. Am I moving too much?
You good?
Okay. So I found the guys that worked at Reddit, and I took them out for breakfast to the Pork Store Cafe in San Francisco. It's delicious. It's really good. This egg nest thing with egg and bacon. Oh man, $26. And so I took him out. I got to know him. I tried to understand him. His wife does clothing. He's a programmer. They went to I think Carnegie Mellon. His name's Chris Lowe. Really, really great guy. And so I said, well, Chris, I'm not going to bullshit with you. I am here because I want to meet you and I like you and I love Reddit. But I kind of want to get free ads. So you have to work backwards. When you have a product, don't just like make a product and hopefully find customers. Find the customers, find what they want, and then go get a product for them. And so I knew Reddit wanted Imgur, so I just went to him and I said, could you give me free ads? Right? And so for $26, they ran, I think like 100,000 or 200, a few hundred thousand, hundreds of thousands of impressions of the ads. Right? And that's actually where we got a lot of our sales from. Over a $26 breakfast. And so Greedy Noah, there's like Good Noah and then Greedy Noah. It's not because I'm Jewish. I'm just saying, it's just the Greedy Noah part. And I got out from time to time. And so the Greedy Noah went back to Reddit. 6 months later, I'm in. Hey, you remember how you gave me all that free ads? Let's do that again. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. So give me more. And this time, they put me in touch with their ad operations person. And for the same thing I got for $26, they wanted $10,000. Right? For over a $26 breakfast. And so I don't think you can. And there's different things about relationship building and things like that. There's some good books. And if you want some good books, Never Eat Alone is a really strong one. How to Win Friends, the Dale Carnegie one's a really popular one. relationships decay. So if you're trying to build a relationship, you have to maintain it. And I would say just work on quality, not quantity. But yeah, think of things in relationships. Plant seeds now to have your garden later. And so as we got on Reddit, that worked out really well. And then we put up a really disgusting website. And it's not about how your website looks, you'll be surprised. And I'll show you a lot of examples of how we've been ghetto. And so this website was built by my friend Steve. Well, I don't think he did anything to it. I think I built a lot of it. I don't think he wants to have any credit for how this looks. But it looks like shit, right? It doesn't look good. And that's because we did it within 30 days. I probably could have done it even sooner. And this is the other page. We only had 2 pages. And it was a gratuitous cat photo, share on Facebook. I mean, the real point is not all the other superfluous stuff, is that will people buy web apps through this method of time-based or bundles of web apps? And that's really what I wanted to prove or not. Right? And so we didn't build out a backend. We didn't, you would be surprised, and if we have time, I can show you the backend that we have at AppSumo, like custom A/B testing framework, custom email delivery, custom a lot of other stuff. It's algorithms and prediction models, all that stuff that we've built over time. But didn't need that in the beginning. And so with that being said, we didn't build a backend. So the first 200 sales, I just manually processed them myself. We didn't build how do you deliver the web app to a person. So this is me emailing each person saying, here's your code, make sure it didn't go to your spam folder for the web app, right? Now, obviously, we have a system that distributes it automatically, blah, blah, blah. But the point is that don't worry about making it all fancy. Think about how do I do this cheaper, how do I save more time, and really focus on the value of what you're doing. And then, so as you grow, you're ghetto, right? Stay really ghetto. Even now, once in a while, we forget that we're ghetto, and I'll show you some bad examples. You guys don't need a full A/B testing framework. You don't. Until you have like 10,000 visitors, or making $1,000 a month, don't do any A/B testing. There's no point. But as you grow, A/B testing can make huge impacts, and I'll show you some of the ones that we've done and the success of them. Just use Google Website Optimizer when you start doing it. And then as you grow, you hire Nick. Nick was actually in one semester startup last year. I don't think he's not here today. This is our AppSumo. He's no longer working with us, but what I want to share with you, we actually just hired Nick. All he does is optimization. So his only job was A/B testing. Because as you're doing, I think we have like 20 or 30,000 uniques a day, and we're 7- and 8-figure revenues, blah, blah, blah. When you do that, like a 5–10% change makes a huge impact. It compounds. And I'll show you a specific one. But that's not something we did in the beginning. But as we grew, it actually made sense. And this is some of the stuff. So this is some of our A/B testing framework that we built out. One thing that I'm going to suggest to you that's worked really well, and I learned this from Zuck at Facebook, was just like a very singular focus on accomplishing something. And so at AppSumo, for the first 12 months, it was getting 500,000 emails. And so you can literally talk to anyone in AppSumo. We have 12 teammates now. And I'm actually trying to fire people. I want to get it down to 5. It's a bragging thing. It's very strange. Everyone wants more people. I want less people, more computers. And so everyone knew in the company that 500,000 was our goal. Nothing else mattered. If it didn't increase the amount of emails that we got, we did not do it. And so I think that'll help give you guys clarity, because I think sometimes you just have so much shit going on, and you're doing a lot of different stuff, and you're like, I don't really know what we're supposed to do. Pick one number. That's it. Don't have 2. And people go, but I have to have 2. Well, you're going to fit. And so, and I'll share a second example of this, is that we were so focused on emails. So for the past 5 months, we've grown emails 20,000 to 40,000 a month, subscribers, customers. And the revenue's actually gone down, right? Which is really depressing. Remember in the beginning when I told you it sucks? That was my Monday, and it's been like every Monday for a while. And so I was actually confused. I was like, I'm hitting the number that I'm supposed to hit, but why isn't the business growing? And it's because at some point, that wasn't the right number. So we've actually changed it now. Our target is more around paid buys a day. So we need customers giving us money, X amount of them each day. And we don't do anything on the website, nothing goes on the website now, unless it's going to increase that number, or test that number, improving that number. And everybody knows that. You could actually, I kind of want to call someone. Actually, you guys are, well, I'll call them in a second. Let's just see if someone on the team knows it. You guys want to do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't make me look bad. All right, this is Sungho. Sungho is, he leads our sales team. All right, you guys gotta be quiet though. Is there speakers? Yeah. Is this it? you know what? Well, it's right. Hey man, hey, so I'm with the one semester startup class. You're live with the class. I was talking to them. Do you know what our number one target, what our number one goal is and the number around it? Like the company?
Yeah, it's active invoice, daily active invoice.
What's our target?
100.
Alright man, thanks.
Good to be the boss.
You kept your job. Renee sakes. Yeah, that's everybody on the team. And I communicate with them weekly about that. And so obviously we're at a little bit of a different level, and there's different stages of businesses that I can talk about if you're curious. Yeah.
So what did you change when you changed your target, like from emails to daily active invoices?
Yeah, daily invoices is just basically like the whole dashboard. It's not even, we haven't pushed that yet, but basically on the dashboard we have a column that's that number. And so I have, basically you can see we hit our number every day.
Well, I mean, like, what
Why
did
did
you do with your company? What did you do with your company? Like, what did you change? Because getting emails is, you know, what gets you
That's a
sales
fair
before,
question.
right?
Nothing changed in the company except clarity and focus. I think the focus and discipline is like two keywords that I just love lately. Like people who work out, like generally are really, really good people to hire because they're very, very good about following through with things. People who have like a daily regimen or they work out weekly. It's mostly that the decisions that were going on in the business were just kind of scattered. Because it was like, oh, we're getting more emails, but that wasn't tying to the growth of the business. And so now that it's about paid invoices a day, everything is like, you know, the sales team tries to get more deals that actually get better paid invoices than another deal. And then the product team will do it, and then the marketing team is trying to get deals to do paid invoices. And then the development team, they only do things that, they only test things. Nothing was on our website without being tested. They only test things that increase paid invoices. I can show you some of that test, pretty cool stuff. Anyways, let me keep going. So,
Sounds like startup to me.
yeah, I call it anorexic startup. Or ramen. I love, you know people are ramen profitable? That means, to me, that means you're making a lot of money, because I love ramen. So here's two landing pages. Which one do you guys think won? A or B?
B.
Let's just do it. Raise your hands for A. This is A. A. And to put it up with pride, like Bob. All right. B. Oh, how do you guys know? You guys know everything? Here's the thing. There's two things I want you to take away with this slide. This follows every freaking thing you read about how to optimize a landing page. So whenever someone comes up here and tells you definitive facts that things do, they're liars, right? So we, you know, logos of press, companies we work with. This is a $2,000 design. I wish I could have put that on there. This cost us $2,000. Fucking lost. I'll tell you, it's $2,000. You know, when you're doing things, you got to learn, right? Everything is, what did I take away? What can I learn from this? Nick, you know, when you give everyone on the team the goal, they'll actually go do things themselves, right? So Nick just said, hey, why don't we put a sumo dojo there and try this out? And so you want to empower people around you, as long as they know the goals, to go do those things. Secondly, I think the bigger takeaway around this, that I'll show you in a second, is start at the top of your funnel, right? And so what I mean by that is that you kind of have a slow computer. I'll pick up. You have a slow computer. You have a really shitty computer. So, do you realize that that is the fucking tool that you're using all your time in trying to build these businesses? That's at the top, right? So then you come down. I have a slow ass fucking computer, which slows everything else down. Then you go to your slow ass website. Then you try to validate slowly. And finally, when you actually try to make money, it's down here, and it's so little because everything else up here is so fucking small. And so that's something I've realized with AppSumo is investing in yourself and starting at the top. So, you know what the top is? Typing speed. I love hiring. Whenever I hire anyone, I test typing speed. I do, and I go and I see what the types. Because you know what happened? I hired a sales guy, Matt. He was a bro, literally a bro. You've seen him around campus. He fucking two-fingered it. And I never saw him in person. It was like a few months later we finally met. I was like, holy shit, he doesn't even know how to type. And I always know there's the dude in the back. I'm just the other dude in the back who's like, I type slow and I'm really smart. You know that guy, right, or girl. They're stupid. No, so the point being is that thinking about yourself with your businesses, start at the highest point possible. Your typing speed, your computer speed, the applications you use, the things you can save time with using Chrome versus Safari. You're going to be faster with Chrome, more things get done. And obviously you have to be doing smart things, but just something to consider as you're using even your laptop or you're going about your day. And so with this specific example, that landing page was 5% better, right? Which doesn't seem that big. And don't worry about A/B tests when you're small, but this is as we're getting classier. Remember, it's from ghetto to classic. So So we had 3,000 people a day visit that page. It's now probably around 10 or 20,000. You guys see the math that's coming? This is the, damn, the whiz bang. 365 days a year. And if you times all that together, it's actually 55,000. Oh, you guys haven't seen that part. Damn, here, show the. So 55,000 new emails a year, just from Nick coming up with an idea, right? So I think the point of that, I mean, I kind of showed you, start at the top of it, and then as you grow, things compound custom. When you do things, people get upset, right? My favorite one is fuck you Noah. Where's that one? Right here, fuck you Noah at AppSumo.com. That was me actually. That's my personal email. If you want to email me, it's fuck you Noah. So you know, what's that? Yeah, I just frankly, there's probably thousands of these by now. And so I'll tell you a quick cliche, but it's like to make an omelet, you break some eggs, right? And not every, but most major companies started from spam, right? So who do you think is the biggest spammer in the world today? Who said that?
Right.
Good. Exactly. Facebook is the largest spammer in the world. They get your emails, they get your preborns, they get your social, your phone, your home address, whatever they can get, they'll get, and then they spam everyone. Right? I don't even know what they do now when they have everyone. And so I think the lesson learned here is that it's okay to piss off a few people to get big, right? And you have to, like, how badly do you want it? And I think that also ties back to working at things that you actually care about and missions and purpose. Like, I love AppSumo. My life's calling is for you guys to go start businesses and for me to help you. I just love that. That's truly what I enjoy doing. And so, but as you do things, as we put up a welcome mat, which is better for our business, piss off a few people. And so I think the lesson learned is that that's going to happen, and you should never, you guys need to push the limits without questioning your integrity. And so here, how do you know if you should be pushing the limits or not? It's called the Wall Street Journal test. If it was on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, would I mind? That's it. And if you would mind, then don't do it. But I don't mind, doing a few things. Like we do a lot of A/B tests. I think we have like 30 or 40 going on right now, maybe 30. And there's definitely people who get pissed off about it, and that sucks. And I apologize, and we tell them straight up, hey, sorry, we're just trying out new shit. And that actually creates a relationship with people. So it's okay to take risks and push it. And as you're doing things, we're very analytical, data-driven. Everyone says that. Is there any company that's not data-driven? I want to meet someone who's just like, we just do random shit. We're fucking rich. Like, I meet those people. You meet them. You meet them around. They're like, yeah, man. Like, we have developers, and we test things, and we do all this stuff, and modeling. And then I met this guy. He does Facebook fan page secrets. He's making like $400,000 a month, or some stupid amount of money. I'm just like, it's like, yeah, I kind of make some ads. So flipping ebook. I'm like, you're like one dude. And like, we're 11, and we're not making. We're a little bigger than him, and other things, but it's. Not everything should be data. I think there's a balance between the qualitative and quantitative aspects. So one of the things at AppSumo, has anyone here traveled internationally recently? It's okay, traveled internationally. Yeah. What do you remember about your travels? What's that? Yeah, anyone?
Most of mine with family, so maybe I remember family.
Okay. So family? Yeah.
Just nothing.
You don't remember anything?
Nothing crazy. I mean, just
Where'd you go?
India.
Okay, what do you remember?
Traffic and
You're ruining my
Getting lost.
You're trying to set it up. Trying to give me a softball. What do you remember?
like the flight was really long and the seats were small.
Okay, you're not helping me. So, I have an example I need someone to do. Anyway, when I travel, what I always remember, and now you're going to be like, oh yeah, me too. Food. Whenever I go to an international country, I try their local food, and I'm always like, oh, this is so cool. And so, I went to London, I tried banoffee pie. I don't know if you guys had it. It's phenomenal. Toffee and bananas. It's really good. So, the point being, though, is that unique and random experiences are what your customers are going to remember. They don't, and what's funny, if you actually look at all the people around campus, you guys all you dress to a median, right? So you kind of start out divergent, and then everyone just kind of forms right there. And that's what every business does. People always say that, you guys are so great to customers. You know why we're so great to customers? It's not that we're actually great. It's that the bar is really fucking low, right? Everyone else is so bad. They don't give a shit. I love our customers. You give us money, you're on my good list. You provide our livelihoods for what we want to be doing. And so I think the real takeaway is that if you're doing what everybody else is doing, how are you going to beat them? Right? And if you're treating your customers the same way everybody else is, how are they going to love you? And so just something to kind of like deposit in the brain when you're doing your thing. And so with AppSumo, we had a crazy idea. And the idea was just like, why don't we do something like Willy Wonka, where we just give away money each day to a random customer. There's no like algorithm, there's no metrics behind it. It was just something that they would have a great experience. And so I was just going to say, let's email them. Let's keep it really good. Just email them, say you got $100 in your account. And so Steve, the designer, was like, I'm actually going to make a golden ticket, just like Willy Wonka. So he took his initiative and made a golden ticket. So it didn't work though. We actually canceled it because no one actually cared. I will share. Well, I told you most of the stuff is depressing. Go work, like come work with me. Like don't go and I'll deal with the depression. You guys come work with us. And other thing, I'm going to show you more ghetto stuff. And so unsubscribes really hurt my feelings. We worked so hard to get our customers. Josh, I mean, you know unsubscribes. I'm like, please don't leave me. You know, it's like a relationship. Every day I'm getting dumped. You know, over and over. And so I was like, oh shit, I'm going to optimize our unsubscribe page. Why is that funny? So one thing to think about that one of my advisors said I thought was very, very smart, and it's just that you can never grow your business by optimizing your unsubscribe. Think about that. You cannot grow your business optimizing the unsubscribe page. So think about, what am I doing in my business that is going to be most valuable? And it's actually in retrospect not this. And one thing that I've learned is that, do you open emails from your mom? Of course, right? Josh, you open emails from your wife?
Sometimes.
Most of the time. The one thing is that we didn't need to optimize the unsubscribe page. We just need to be more relevant to people. Right? You open it from your mom because you're from your mom. If it's like a girl I'm trying to hook up with, I'm going to open her email. Right? I'll respond to her text. And so that's just a relevancy issue that we're solving now. We're still like, I would say, V1 of V100 around that. But here's the thing I want you to take away in terms of being ghetto. I was getting excited about optimizing unsubscribes because I didn't want my feelings hurt every day. So we put this out there where you could choose the different frequencies and you could choose categories. But in the beginning, it didn't even work. Right? It was just links. Right? And all we did was just saw how many people clicked the link. That's it. Right? We didn't build it. So you would choose weekly and then you get an email the next day. Remember the eggs? You crack the eggs, make the omelet? I'm sorry, but we gotta do some shit. And if you go to, don't unsubscribe. I hope you guys never have seen this page. Don't. And you guys should never see this page in AppSumo. But these links are still there and they still don't work. The top ones work now. But that was the point. We didn't want to build out stuff. We don't know if people want it. So we put it up, people clicked, and then we built it. And it reduced unsubscribes. I was happy, but it didn't grow our business. Even doing more unique things, this is kind of another example. You kind of, it's not like I want to intentionally piss people off. Like, I think Neville, our copywriter, he does. But the things on the outside of the normal curve distribution are what your customers will remember. And so I really don't want our customers to go. This literally took me 5 minutes to put up. I was naked on my bed, and I put like a little sad face, right? Because I am sad to see them go. And I will tell you, it is very polarizing, this picture. I have a lot of people who are like, oh, it's Sunho. Let's see what he says. It's the lead says. Hey, Sunho. What's up, bro? Hey, so I'm at the one semester startup, and I'm putting you on the spot a bit. Do you know what our company goal is right now?
Our company goal is to make our customers happy and repeat orders.
What about our target? What about our target number?
Our target number is 400 sales daily average.
Exactly. All right, man. Thank you. I'll see you tonight.
No problem, man.
Everybody.
Publish well now?
What's that?
Are you back there?
Yes, he got his job back. Saved. Welcome. We're already finished. That's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm going to do a quick intermission. So, have you guys learned one thing that you could do for yourselves tonight? Let me do this for Isabel. Is there anyone here who has not learned one thing they could take away and do tonight? It's okay. Raise your hand. There's not one thing? Okay. I'm going to get you.
I've seen you talk before.
I'm going to pull some new stuff. New stuff is coming. All right, so everyone's got one thing? Good. I've got my objective done. So yeah, this took a few minutes. A few other things, Google Forms. I love Google Forms. I didn't build anything. We didn't build a 404 page, but when our site's down, you go to Google Forms. Google's always up. We get the email still. It works. So we're selling a lot of web apps, and I think if you're on our mailing list, you notice there's a lot more like informational, learning, educational products. And it's probably now compromised as 60, 70% of our business. Yeah, no, it's very surprising. And that's not, it's called AppSumo, right? It's not EduSumo or InfoSumo or LearningSumo. The premise was never that. It was to distribute web apps, which is still a massive market. But what we were noticing is we were selling these web apps and no one had any idea how to use them. We were selling the mailing, we were selling hosting, we were selling icons. And so this is me. Basically, I had a hypothesis. Remember, coming back to what your business, the point of it is validating a hypothesis. I had a hypothesis that we need to teach them how to use the pickaxes. And one of my favorite quotes is an Abe Lincoln one. I don't know if you guys maybe you've heard this one. It's like, if I had 8 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening and 2 hours cutting. And I really love that idea. I think my skills are very execution oriented and tactical, but I think as we've grown as a business, and maybe for yourselves, the strategy and the thinkers are what actually are going to win in the long run. Like Zuck is like, I remember when Zuck came to me, and he's like, all right, man, he doesn't talk like that. All right, man, no. He said, we're going to have this ether, this black thing that people could do whatever they want, and like you could just kind of do whatever you want in this real twist. And I was just like, you are so fucking weird. You are nuts and weird, and then that actually turned out to be the platform, right, where everybody can put their stuff up. And so that's long-term thinking. And he had that 3 years before it launched. Also, like I worked on Facebook Pages. That was years before launch. And so in terms of thinking, it was just, the ghetto hypothesis was, let's teach them how to use the pickaxes. And so I'm at Mellow Johnny's. You guys know the bike store down there? Mellow Johnny's the bike shop. It's down by 56. Yeah, great place. And so me and Andrew Warner made a video about how I hire interns. We don't really do it anymore, but I used to hire, like in college, I had like 25 interns. And so the hypothesis was, let's see if people will buy this. And so we set a benchmark, which was 200 sales at $14, and I think it sold about 500 or 600. And so then it was like, all right, now we can actually put investment into this. So now when we do our products, it costs anywhere between $3,000 and $15,000. But we didn't have to spend a lot of time. We didn't spend a lot of money. It's literally me in the cafe doing it in an hour. And we didn't do a lot of packaging. We didn't do anything. And I know I make it sound easy, but I'll tell you, and I'll show you, a lot of stuff we does not work. This happened to work, and so we extended it. As we've done things, you go through iterative design process, stuff like that. This is what our site used to look like when we started doing bundles. And one thing I'd really encourage you, not to spend too much time on it, but what we found out is we were doing bundles, and so then we modeled it. So we modeled bundles, then we modeled, all right, this isn't growing fast enough, what can we change? So we actually had Excel. We said, well, what if we did from a bundle model to a single deal model, where each day there's a new product coming out. And the math actually made sense, but if we didn't model it out with Google spreadsheets, we would have never seen it. And that's why we actually don't do bundles anymore, because the economics didn't work. So that's this, what it used to look like. Then we went through our pink phase, which I don't want to talk about. And this is kind of what the site looks like today. We're still working on different iterations. The example I wanted to show you here in terms of get over Class C, one, we were running out of cash, just to tell you the truth. We were running out of money. And I was going to put in my own cash, but I was like, all right, if we sell our credit, the AppSumo credit, we'll actually be able to get cash. I've never shared that before. It's not a big deal. That's just one of the things was your cash flow. And secondly, people wanted a subscription. And so what do you have to do for a subscription? Then you have to get your credit card. You do everything except see if people actually want it. Get the subscription, you build out what they want, you create the page. No. We just put out a deal of something that we thought we put in a subscription. And we saw people buy it. And I think it did like 200,000 in a week. So people wanted it. But that's how we built our subscriptions. We still haven't built a subscription system. We have other priorities, paid invoices. But doing that showed that people want it. And so now we can actually build a subscription and we know it works. Versus hoping that it would work. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I make a lot of mistakes. Lots of mistakes. Ask all my exes. This is called reward level. So the point of AppSumo is to distribute software. That's always been our point. Is to connect great software with great people and help improve their professional lives. So reward level was, you put this, it basically incentivizes people to sign up with apps. So you get an app for signing up, right? And the long story short is we spent 4 months building it, $15,000, we got on TechCrunch, we got PR, we got hundreds of customers, and it didn't work, right? I thought it was really good, I'm not. I make a lot of mistakes and I learn, and that's why I'm sharing with you to hopefully you'll save the time and money when you're doing your own businesses. And so instead of building a website, paying the designer, paying the developers and all this stuff, what we could have very, very easily done is take this banner and just put it on the AppSumo checkout page and see if it made a difference.
Wait, this was part of AppSumo?
This was kind of a separate business. It was the same point of AppSumo, which is distributing software, but it was a new site called Reward Level.
Okay.
And the idea was that you incentivize signing up on forums, because there's a billion forums online, with different things. So it could be with different apps or anything. So get $5 for, if your customer's worth $100, you can incentivize, say, give, $25 Amazon gift card for signing up with us today. But I think the point of it is that it actually still can work. If someone wants to do this idea, I can gladly tell you what will make it work. It's just persistence. But we're too small to do two businesses. So we picked AppSumo because it was just working better. It was easier to, like we basically said, if we could 10x one of these two businesses, that's how we look at our business. What do we want? How do we 10x? AppSumo was just much easier. We did 10x it. We went from 50,000 to 500,000 emails last year. And then this year we're trying to 10x revenue. So it's going from some number to a 10x number. But the point being is just saving time. Is that I could have easily put this banner on AppSumo and see if it made a difference. If it was an insignificant difference, then I didn't have to build any of this stuff. And so with that being said, we're very analytical. Can anybody guess what this number is? If you've heard the talk, don't share it out. Anybody guess? Okay.
Companies that fail.
What's that?
Companies that fail.
What is it?
Companies that fail.
Close. Close. It is the percent of everything we do that fails. Do you guys follow that? Out of my day, 90% of my day I'm failing. Do you realize how sad that is? Right? Like if I was a baseball player, I would be pretty good at baseball. But shit man, my days are down. Real down. But the 14% that works, and I'll share some of those with you, works really well. And so I think the real takeaway from this is that business is hard. It's really hard. Right? And the glamour, the things that I can come and share with you, this is the 10% that's fun. Right? You don't take 90% I'm just sitting at a computer. Right? I'm just sitting at that's 90% of the shit work. I think when people think, oh, I'd love to be at AppSumo, I'm like, you really work here. Right? It's fun and we love what we're doing, but it is work. And so the real takeaway here is that we need to be persistent. And that I want you to realize and accept and acknowledge that a lot of what you're going to do is fail. Because I think we're pretty damn good. We have a really solid team of 8 players. And we're still failing a lot. And so you guys are going to fail more than that. And just accept, hey, this is part of it. Embrace it. What can I learn and improve from that? And so in terms of the 14%, there's 3 types of people you work with in a company, and there's 3 stages of businesses for startups. The 3 types of people I define as the -1 is 0 to 1. And I want you to look around the room because you know that. A -1 is someone who fucks up your business. And this is Matt. Matt, he joined AppSumo. He's a great guy. He would have killed for AppSumo. If I said go attack, he would just attack. But Matt messed up with partners. They called him a car salesman. He messed up prices. So the wrong price would go out. Messed up emails. He actually made the business worse. So that's a -1. A 0 is someone who maintains. And a good way to look at this is that if you left this person alone for 2 weeks, how would the business be? Would it be bigger, better, stronger, or the same? That's a 0. You fire both of those people. And then there's a +1. And this is Hans. Hans is a +1. And so Hans had the idea. He said, well, why don't we send a summer email every week on Sunday, just of the top deals that happened that week? Came up with the idea. He put it together. He emailed it. She was like, oh, let's get Chad to build this thing. I'm like, no building. Just write up an email, send it, see if it works. And so Hans took it his own initiative. Can anybody guess how much revenue this email will generate in a year? And you have to do the Dr. Evil's thing now. Dr. Evil. How much do you think it is Dr. Evil's stuff? Do it.
I think it would.
Dr. Evil style.
1 million.
I don't know what Dr. Evil is.
Are you not teaching these kids?
We'll watch Austin Powers next week.
Austin Powers.
Oh, okay.
Watch Austin. You should also watch Austin Powers. Just write some italic or writing. So, or you should also watch Rudy. That's a very inspiring business.
Rudy's awesome.
It's really good. If you haven't watched Rudy, go check that out. And I can recommend other books and movies if you're looking for something to read. So who else was good?
$500,000.
No. $1
$500,000.
million. Is this one email?
Last talk. It's changed since your last
This is
talk.
scrub. So Hans came up with the whole thing, and this one email generates $1 million a year. That's a +1 person. Hans gets paid very well. And that's the kind of people you want to be around. Right? And I suck at hiring people. I still suck. We're hiring developers, salespeople. If anybody's interested, tell your friends. But it's very challenging to hire the right people. And in different parts of your business, it's okay to actually, in stage 0, you're just trying to get the business going. It's okay to have a -1 there. Stage 2, you're actually trying to validate, kind of say, all right, I got what's working. Now let me figure out the marketing. It's okay to have a 1 there. But if you're trying to go to that next level, you want to actually build a business to like a 7-figure or 8-figure, you need all +1s. You really can't have anybody there that's not the +1. That doesn't make the business better in 2 weeks. If you go away for 2 weeks and come back, it's the same. They should not be there. As well, when you guys are doing your business, this is something that I've had to adopt, and it's not my natural tendency, but documentation and process, I know it sounds boring big company stuff, very, very critical to your success. So when we first started AppSumo, it was me hand coding HTML deals. It was like, here, go buy this deal, HTML hand code. And so what we did though is that we need systems and processes so things can be consistent, we can streamline. And so one way to look at it is just a kind of a tip. Anything you're doing more than once should be a system. Anything more than once could be a process or a system. And so instead of building the same HTML pages, we started creating templates. And then what we're doing is we still have to manually send an email every day. And so we said, all right, well, let's now connect the deal to an email template. And, obviously now it seems like, oh, yeah, obviously. And so what I want to encourage you is as you're doing anything more than once or twice that's critical to the business or there's variability, just put it into a system. Put it in something that is consistent. And the second thing is I did this about a year ago called my death plan. And the death plan is more around removing myself as a bottleneck from the business. And so think about other people in your business or as you're starting your business, if they were to leave, what would they have proprietary with them that you can't use? And have that document. It's very critical. So everybody in AppSumo has a document about what they do. They screencast videos and text so that they can be replaced. And I know that sounds weird because I want to replace everyone with computers or robots. But what I want them to do is actually do higher value stuff, +1 stuff. Doing the same thing more than once is not +1 stuff. That could be coded or put to a system or paid to some lower value person. I want them to think higher value. So once they've documented, they got their stuff down, they should be moving up the chain. I shared this one before. Never hire a bookkeeper with tattoos. That's it. Don't hire bookkeepers with tattoos. The real takeaway here is as you're evolving in your business, start ghetto. Right? So we had a bookkeeper. That was, every time I show this slide, it's like the most funny thing everyone's seen. Can anybody guess what stuff? No, I know you know, but can anybody guess what lyrics are tattooed on her? It's Corn and Lincoln Park. Okay, there we go. Oh. Yeah, that's a bad sign. Right? Maybe if it was like, I don't know, Sinead O'Connor.
Bob
But,
Dylan?
what's that?
Bob Dylan?
Yeah, Bob Dylan. Yeah, Bob Dylan. Steve. Yeah. No, I don't know. Anyways, we've evolved, right? So we're on our 4th bookkeeper now, because we started with the green one, and then we progressed with her, and then we got a firm, and now we got someone in-house. So you don't need to go commit a lot of money. Same with the law firm. We kind of had a more affordable, lower level law firm, and now we've progressed KHRG in town. And that's just the way you can run a business without having to commit a lot of money up front. And so this is, and lastly, is the team and office space. So as we started AppSumo, a lot of what you guys can do is remote. You don't need an office. You might want to work out of capital factories. They get offices available, or maybe even offices support too. So we started remote, and as we're working remotely, I did 2 team outings. I had everyone come. Hans, this is Hans. He wore really short shorts. It's the most awkward thing ever. But we did these team outings, and I always wanted to work remote because I wanted to travel in the world and all that stuff. But we did these outings, and the morale improved, the productivity improved, and the overall output and communication improved. Right? So I've actually found one of the keys to success in a business now is communication. You cannot over-communicate enough with your partners or with your customers. They actually want to hear from you. They want to be a part of the process. And so when we started out, we were all remote. And then I made a decision to say by October, I want everyone in Austin. And if you don't want to be in Austin, you won't be with AppSumo. I think that was a decision about, are we going to take this company for real? And AppSumo kind of started as a hobby. I just wanted to make $3,500 a month and have sex and chill in Thailand. That's truly what I wanted to accomplish. And I have gone to Thailand and not had sex, but and so, no, the point was, that was the original thing. But I think as we've progressed, it's more, we're part of a big movement. Right? The way that people are learning is changing. They don't want to go to like standard college classes that teach you SWOT analysis for marketing, which is what I learned in school. They want to go to classes like this, where you're going to hear stories of real people, Bob, Josh, others, showing you exactly how they do it, and saving all the time in the shortcut so you can just get right there. And so with the offices, we went from remote to Josh's space. Josh was really kind and let us have some space in the building.
Technically gave you a small amount of space, you took a lot of space.
Greedy Noah came out, I'm sorry.
Then kick Noah out.
Yes, they kicked us out. No, you hooked us up with space. It was really cafes, then you move to a place where we're all in the same area. There's like Hans, somehow who we called, can't look on this photo, but Stephen, Brandon, Chad. Oh, not there anymore. And then now we actually have a real office. We're on 6th and Red River. We have like, it's like nice. I think everybody's kind of surprised that we're a real company. But that's part of the evolution that we've gone through, that I want you guys to go through as you guys grow businesses and fail and succeed and struggles. And so I'll open up with questions. I just want to leave you. This is a video. I think this is some of the best free product that we have for you guys. So if you can open your laptops up and go get this really good stuff. It's John Arrow from Mutual Mobile. And a few other guys, Neville. It's a really great starter product for, we call them entrepreneurs, because you want to be an entrepreneur, but you're just doing all the play business. So we're trying to just cut all the fat and really get you to, how do I get my business going? So this is a good starter video for free for you guys. And with that, I'll open up for questions, and that's it. Awesome. You guys do the clap thing now if you want. All right, I'll open up for some questions, and I gotta go get some tacos. Yes.
So you have very distinctive voice in your copy on the site. How long did it take you to find that? Because it sticks. Your copywriting like really sticks.
Yeah. The short of it was, I actually hate email. I still hate email. I think email is horrible. It's distracting and it's reactive. And so the original email that I had, was that when you say your license like email, you know what it is? How many of you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I can't believe I have more email? Like no one looks forward. I mean, maybe there's an email you want, but you ever notice like you're always waiting for some email?
Yeah.
I don't know who it's from, but I'm waiting for Obama or someone to email me. So you check vigorously to get it. It's never there. And so in the beginning, I didn't want to send emails, and we had a guy in Bulgaria. He sent the emails out, and it was in like broken English. It's like, you'll love this. Buy the apps, and it was like total broken English, and it didn't work. And I didn't really care about copy. I have third grade grammar. I do. My grammar is so bad. Well, it's a joke. So it's actually not a joke. My grammar is so bad. When I went to college, I was in English as a second language. I'm from America. I'm from here, and I had to take English as a second language. I got a B in the class. And so one thing happened. So Neville, who did our copywriting, now we have someone else. Neville makes some of the products. He actually created this product. We were selling typography, and I know if you're a designer, you love fucking Comic Sans. I don't know everyone hates Comic Sans. I don't know. I don't get it. But people do. And so Neville, we're selling typography subscription, and Neville had the idea, let me just write your email for once. And he's been asking to write the emails for a while. And I was like, whatever, fine, I don't care. And so he wrote this like really long email, and it was like Steve Jobs and Garamond and like making love to fawns and all this like really weird shit. And it was our best-selling deal ever. It made like $10,000. That was our first big hit. That was our first like, we're actually gonna make money. Like real money, not like pretend. And then so we started doing it from there. And then so the voice is just more of how, if you talk to Neville, that's how he sounds. And we actually became pretty obsessive around copywriting. And so he showed me a lot of it. Basically, I started devouring it for like months. And copywriting is actually really essential because even meeting women, selling, communicating. And one of the stories that I thought was really interesting around that, and I can give you specific stuff to go read. It doesn't have to be in our style, but when I went to the 37 Signals, they're like the fucking awesome guys that drive Ferrari and super rich. When I went to a master class they had, and it was how they build products. How do they build web products? Because I worked at Facebook, I think I have a pretty good idea how to build web products in there. They're exceptional people, Mint and so forth. When they start to build their product, they actually do all the writing first. They don't mock up. They don't, Photoshop anything. They actually text what they wanted to communicate with their customer, and then they build around them. And I thought that was just a really fascinating way of how they're looking at their business. So the specific things, if you want to write them down, they're free. Gary Halbert is probably the best out there. Gary Halbert, the boron letters. There's about 20 of them. It's when he was in jail. He wrote them to his son. So he's an info marketer or a direct marketer, and disregard that. Look for the core principles and the fundamentals of what he writes. It's just very, very, very interesting and captivating, and you're like, I want to buy it. There's a lot of other books. Ogilvy on advertising is a strong one. There's some free ones now if you search online, Tested Advertising Secrets. Anything Jay Abraham is really strong. Dan Kennedy. Scientific advertising. There's a lot out there. Give me the Howard one. Start with that. It's free. Cool. Yes.
Taylor described you, said, as a hustler.
Yes. be like really dirty, like you didn't want to be a hacker. Right now it's actually like you want to hire hackers.
Hacker in the beginning was good.
It was good, but then it turned bad, or is it bad? What is it now? It's good, right? Oh. And so the same with Hustler. Like I kind of at the beginning, someone called me a hustler like a year or two ago, and I was like, hustler? You say with networker. I want to build relationships. And a hustler just seems like you're like slaying things and slimy. I think I kind of always I look at myself as like a steamroller or as a brute or like a dog, right? I'm just very good. Like one of my skills, I just get shit done, right? But the problem that I've noticed with myself and I'm trying to improve is that we were going to stage 3 of our business, which is scale. Stage 1 is figuring it out. Stage 2 is figuring out the marketing. And stage 3 is scaling it. Is that you have to realize what am I not good at, or what am I good at, and how do I get better at it, or how do I complement that? And so I brought on advisors who do the thinking for me. They do all the smart work. Right now, obviously, I'm smart and all that stuff, but there's people who think more in models. There's people who have longer-term visions about market size and stuff like that. And so it's just a natural thing. Like I like making things happen. So a lot of you guys here probably want to be entrepreneurs because you want to have that control. You want to decide the outcomes of things. I don't know. I don't ever look in the mirror and be like, you're a hustler. Today. I just have a paranoia. Like you should read Andy Grove's book, Only the Paranoid Survive. Very, very good book. Andy Grove is amazing. His writing is really good. He's one of the founders of Intel. One of the co-founders. But yeah, I don't know. I just like to do this stuff.
Do you have a system, like he and I do a lot of networking, and we find that I'll start a conversation. He's much better at following up on it. Something that I'm struggling with all the time is to manage the time to follow up with people. I wonder if you have a system for that.
So I've changed. I will tell you, when I was, this is what old people say. When I was in my 20s, last week, I fucking meet everybody. Is this swearing okay? I know I've done a few. What's that? It's a little late, yeah. There's actually two types.
Fucking late.
Yes. Right. No, so there's two types of people in the world. There's askers and guessers. There's been some documentation and research on this. And so an asker, you just ask and you ask for forgiveness, and you ask for extra shit. And a guesser is just like, right, I'm an asker. But time back to the original question about networking. So in my, the first, after college, I spent probably 5 years meeting. I'd coffee fuck anyone, right? I'll coffee you all day long. Coffee, yeah, let's coffee meetings. Oh yeah, coffee. And I would go to these coffee meetings, and I fucking have to entertain these people like a monkey. And I was just like, after 5 years, I was fortunate enough to meet enough people that I was done with that. I would say in the beginning, I would, like your guys' levels, not insulting, I'm just saying where you guys are at, if you're younger or you're just starting out, go network away. Network with everything. But what I try to do now is just more quality over quantity. These pants are from networking, right? Or relationship building. I actually don't want to network. I was at an event, and I call it ping pong headitis, where you're like looking for that other person. Or what I try to do is I put my name badge on my crotch, because I people always look what company you're at. So I want them at least looking at something. But the point is that when I go to events and things like that, I just pick one person and I just stick on them. I'm like, yeah, let me find out something interesting about yourself. And in terms of following up, are you single?
No, he is not. I am.
You're not. I'm surprised. So the point is not to say that you're not. The point though is when I try to meet women or when I try to do business, you want to have a reason to follow up. Because I fucking hate business cards. I still don't have business cards. 2 years later, we still don't have business cards. Last business never had business cards. Because I just throw them away. What do you want me to do with this piece of paper that has your name on it? That makes you feel good, right? Okay, I put you on my phone. So I think when you're meeting people, try to meet less, right? Try to build more quality. Have a reason to follow. And try to challenge yourself. 2 things I really want you to challenge yourself in your network. Think of it as a relationship. Here's the 2 challenges. 1, never ask what do you do. It's a challenge. I fucking win that game. Hardcore. I'm real. I'll ask her everything else. Like this girl I was seeing, I asked her everything but a job. She's like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm retired. I work at office space. Whatever. Okay. But it's really fast because you actually get to know the other person. So do the what do you do challenge, and then every person that you meet now, for yourself, try to have a reason to follow up. Don't just give them a card. And so with the people I have now, I have very few people that I meet with. I just don't want to meet people. Like I'll meet attractive women. or people that I want to meet, right? That's just, I've been able to, and so if you want to meet a lot of people, one of the best things to do is to put on events. So I was fortunate in the beginning of should write that one down. I use this app. I use it like a cracker.
Have you heard of Boomerang?
Yeah, the similar Boomerang.
I use both of them, they're great.
Yeah, so at follow-up, if you email me, in the BCC, you could put 1 day, 1 hour, a date. And so it's like it's a Jewish mother in your inbox. She never forgets anything. It's crazy. But yeah, so you put 1 day, so you'll never get away from it. Like if I'm trying to do sales, I put you on follow-up, it's over. I got you.
So then you can delete it and you know it'll come
Yeah,
back.
you can snooze, all that stuff. Yeah, use follow-up CC. It's a great way to kind of remember people. Yeah, and then, so this really challenge yourself that you have something you want to, not just what do you do challenge, the second thing, really, how do I give value to them? And that's what you should do when you're talking to people. And do less, and you actually, so these pants, I was at an event, I met one guy, and I'm getting more into fashion. I have no fashion sense whatsoever. Most of my clothes are from my mom or from high school. And so just recently, in the past few months, I started buying nicer clothes and, getting haircuts and things like that. And I used to just cut my own hair, I didn't care. And so I was at an event, I just commented on the guy's thing. I said, I really like your pants. And at some places, I went to Berkeley, that probably would work well. Other places might not, Texas. I'm kidding. So I just started talking to him. I was like, I like your pants. I didn't ask him what he did. Talked about clothing, talked about other stuff. Turns out he's the senior director of marketing at Levi's. And he sent me pants. These are his pants. It's kind of cool that I'm wearing his pants. These are a version of his pants. So, but that's not because.
What's the likelihood that you would say, I like your pants to a guy who sells
That is some luck right there.
Levi's, well, because I was looking for a type of pants, and he was wearing them, and I was just like, I've been going up to people, it's a little awkward, but I go up and I'm like, do you mind if I look at your brand? And I pull their shirt. I will tell you, it is awkward for some people. For me, it's not awkward. I want to find out what stuff they're buying. So, but yeah, that was totally random. But also, I think that's also a function of where you put yourself in places to meet those kind of people. Right, so that was in a VIP section at some event, right? So it was a little bit more filtered. But one thing I've noticed is I've gotten a little bit older and a little more wealthy, not a lot, and I still don't spend a ton. But the more you invest in yourself, the better it is. And so, and I know it's hard. Some of you are in college, you don't have money, that's fine. But learning, taking classes, paying for things, investing in yourself, even paying for a first-class ticket. The people in first class are a lot better, right? You'll meet actually better people, right? So that's as an analogy, think of it that way.
Something I've been thinking about a lot lately, just on that topic, is the concept of compounding returns.
Yes.
Compounding interest. And so, we always say, give an example that say, start saving now when you're 16, because you put away $20 every month, and by the time you're 40, it's much money.
Yeah.
And specifically around what you're saying now, just applying that concept to yourself. And what you invest in yourself now, and what you guys do now, makes a huge difference 10 years from now, 15 years from now.
Yeah.
Like what I do for myself now makes less of a difference.
If you guys can do one thing tonight besides the validation stuff, start working out. Work out twice a week. Just start with once a week. 15 minutes. Do push-ups. That's it. I've actually found that action, I run 3 times a week. That's all I do. I run 3 times a week and I eat healthy. I'm trying to get sick. But that actually is overflowed into every other part of my life. And I thought that was really fascinating. I wasn't expecting it. And so I think discipline around your own lives will really help. And the other part with Josh, what Josh mentioned, as you're meeting people, be open and try to give them value. It's actually kind of crazy. So Tim Ferriss or Meat Safety, all these people are kind of big names now. I just met them 10 years ago when I was coming out of college, and we just I try to help them out with things. And then we become friends, right? And so now you can, and then it's different to build a relationship. I think a good way to look at it is if you email someone, would they be able to help? That's a relationship, right? And it's the same with your customers. So many people, would you give me $100 right now? Just give it to me.
Probably not.
Yeah, I know. Josh, would you give me 20 if I needed it? Yeah. I know. You know why? Relationship. I did buy you lunch. It was good. I enjoyed it. But that's the point, right? It's relationships, right? So that you guys see the difference why he won't give it to me, but Josh will? I don't know your name.
Socket.
What is it?
Socket.
Socket?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can talk to him about where he's from, what he does, and then you can build a relationship. Think about that with your customers. Most of you just have email addresses. And even with AppSumo and Facebook, I remember just looking at numbers. And I was like, oh, we have X number today, and our numbers are down. And you actually know those are people? They're not users, they're humans, just like us. David.
You should definitely invest in yourself, but as a counterpoint, I think you should think about helping people get what they want as well.
Yeah.
As opposed to asking people how
even if you don't have money, you want to buy him something. Flattery, articles, help. I have this guy, I don't know anything about his name, Stanley Lee. He owes me all the time random shit. Now I'm kind of like, that's kind of nice and helpful to me. So I want, if you ever ask for money now, I'm a lot more likely to help him out. And the same with other people, and vice versa. I can do like 2 more questions, and I gotta head out. I got poker again.
So you said at the beginning that AppSumo was kind of like a hobby to you.
Yeah.
At what point did you kind of find more, I guess, like purpose in it? Like really wanting to help other people out with it and really find like, a higher level of that sort of thing?
I think when I fired Matt, probably.
Okay.
Right? So then I was like, oh wow, because I always used to call us a family. Right? And families stick together. But I guess you got fucking fired. And, and I think that was the moment, because it was a really bad story. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Always the negatives. So I wanted everyone to move out here by October of last year. And so Matt came out Friday with his mom and his girlfriend. And I met them, I hugged his mom, we walked around, we had a really good time. We went to Taco Deli, which I love. And Matt, he was a negative one. And so we came out here and all that stuff. And then that next night, I'm talking to Chad, who's my partner. And I was like, Chad, he's going to come out here with his girlfriend, take a place, and then we're going to fire him. Right, while he's out here? Like, that's really bad for him. And long term, he's not going to be around with us. And so that night, we let Matt go. After he came out here and signed a lease, and I met his mom and all that stuff. Wow. So it was definitely hard, but I think that was the realization where we're not a nonprofit. We're here, we're business, and we have to make decisions around what is best for the team. And it's not, as much as I want it to be a family, like, if a person's not performing and I can't help them perform better, then they have to go. So I think at that moment, we've also tried, I think maybe that, and probably when we tried fundraising. We've tried fundraising twice, both fails. I just get cold feet or for other reasons, if you guys are curious, I can talk about. Yes? One more? That's it? Good. Yes?
Oh, what do your hours look like? Like, when you're doing a startup, like, you just work like when you can, but like, do you have set hours then?
So that's changed just with life, right? So Facebook, my day was literally wake up at 11, go to the office, work till 2, go home, smoke and drink, party till like 4, and then go back to the office at 11, and this was 7 days a week. That was every day. And that, and I think that's part of, it's probably a function of what you're working on, right? Like, the thing is like, absolutely, I worked at Intel, and I think the really easy test is how do I feel driving to work in the morning? Right? At Intel, I didn't want to drive to work, I wanted to just leave work. I only worked an hour a day, too. 4-hour work week was for my time at Intel. And so, I took Fridays off. So, I think that's probably how about the hours. And then with, it's like as I've moved on and on, now I've hired people, so there's actually less for me to do. And I was talking to Josh about it at lunch today. It's like, you're doing really well. This is relative, but if your team is operating at peak performance, right? So there should be less for you to do if you're hiring the right people to make those things happen. So now my days, and it changed. Like when I started AppSumo, I'd say when it was just me, I would probably work for like 2 or 3 hours. Then I'd go play disc golf, hang out. That's it. Now, and that varies too, right? So like when I traveled to Europe 2 years ago when I started it. That was how I started it. I'm in Europe. I'm in Croatia. I'm in Split, right? Gorgeous coastal town. Fish, amazing. I'm up from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because there's frogs, right? That's what you're signing up for. And then now, I would say my days, I try to be, when you're a great interview question, and something to think about yourself is, I try to ask someone every time I interview someone, tell me about your yesterday. Tell me what happened yesterday. And there's 2 types of people in the world. There's bad and good. So a bad person is like, yeah, I kind of woke up, had some cereal, did whatever, had lunch, did some more shit, and whatever, right? Then there's a good person, the one I like. I get up at 8 every day. I eat the same cereal every day. I go to work out every day. At 9 a.m. I go to the office. At 12 I have lunch. At 1 I go to the bank. And I just find that person a lot more, it's just different levels of business. You know what, that can count on that person. They're dependable, reliable, and follow through with things. So now my days, generally get up at 8. I don't eat anything, I do sit-ups. I do 110 sit-ups every morning. Is that an IRO? I really do 110, I swear. So I do sit-ups, have breakfast 9. So in terms of actual work hours, I think most people only work about a real 1 hour a day, right? All the other stuff, you're like fucking checking Facebook or Twittering or emailing bullshit stuff, right? There's like one good hour. You know that hour when things are actually proactive? So much of our business and our lives is reactive. I got this email. I'm following up with things. Not so much of it is, did I move things forward? Did I create that Hans email? And so you just choose how you want to allocate your pie, right? And if you love it, you'll allocate a lot. I know with my last business, Gambit, we were doing, at peak, $50 million a year revenue run rate. So our top month ever was $4 million. So it was just like stupid money. I actually didn't make that much off of it. I don't know where it went. I really don't. I was like, where did all this money go? But the point was is that when we started feeling, so on the same day we got banned by Facebook, we also had a lawsuit. On the same day, right? I was so happy, right? Because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to work. I worked my ass off for that. And I was just like, I don't care about this business. I don't care to do credit card, payment processing. Like, let me go do something with value. Right? And now with AppSumo, I'll work as much as I can. Because I love going Mondays, and I love Saturday work, and I love Wednesday night. And even tonight, poker,